Hey, it's me, Amy McGrady, your premier real estateologist, back at you. So I just finished shooting video 1 to what is up with this Florida homestead tax proposal. So now here's video 2. Video 1, if you go back and look at it, I'm going to talk about I talked about the timeline, how we got here a little bit, as much as I could in these videos that I can't go too long on, or otherwise I'll make you guys crazy. So I kept that one positive. This one, it's not going to be negative, but I'm going to talk about the unintended consequences. So here I am, back to back, shooting the video. Didn't even change my clothes. Anyway, I am Amy, your premier real estateologist. I used to be a real estate attorney in the state of Florida. Now I am out of the office, into the streets, and helping you make moves with real estate in Florida. So this video, number 2, is going to talk about what the unintended consequences of the proposal to modify the rights on your Florida homestead exemption are, and whether there could be unintended consequences. The point of this is that when you're cutting the budget and you're collecting less money, something's got to give. So that's really going to be kind of the theme of this video. So first, let's agree on something. Most homeowners would welcome lower taxes. And that's how people are going to vote. They're going to vote single issue. Oh, my taxes are going to go down? Yes. I encourage you that if you live in Florida, please think it through a little bit further than that. You know, I get it. Insurance costs have increased, association fees have increased, maintenance costs have increased, grocery costs have increased, construction prices have increased, housing affordability is still a challenge. Everything is going up, so everybody wants to jump at a discount. But remember, everything that's going up for us on an individual basis is going up for us as a community. We'll get into that later. So this desire for tax relief is understandable, but the real question is not whether tax relief is attractive. The real question is what happens next. And the biggest question of all is, how do we replace that revenue? Because just remember, property taxes help fund our infrastructure, police departments, emergency services, fire departments, fire rescue, parks, libraries, road maintenance, other utilities, not private, and local government operations. So this proposed amendment could significantly reduce local government revenue. And the exact impact depends on future property values and implementation. It's really going to be tricky, especially because we have 67 counties and I don't know how many smaller municipalities in the state of Florida, and everybody has different needs and everybody gets their benefits from different sources, and this is just going to be very difficult. Everybody's going to be short of money, really. And remember, the services don't disappear. We need these services. Policemen still need paychecks. Fire stations still need equipment, roads still need repairs. So the question is, who's going to pay for it? Well, possibility number 1. The bill may simply move. The expenses somewhere else. So where else can we get money? Increased sales taxes, increased impact fees, additional assessments, and any kind of other new local charges, increased tourist taxes. So it's got to come from somewhere, and those are the most logical places that they can come from. Nobody really knows, first of all, if it's going to pass, and if it does, how future legislatures or local governments are going to do. But voters should recognize that reducing one source of revenue often creates pressure to find another. Then there's possibility number 2. We could create 2 different Floridas here. This is probably the most controversial part of the proposal. So under the framework that's currently being discussed, existing Florida homestead owners may receive the larger exemption immediately. So here I am sitting here. I've been in my house for 20 some odd years. and I get the $50,000 homestead exemption. January 1st, 2027, I could get a $150,000 homestead exemption, just like that. Future Florida residents may have to wait several years before receiving the same benefit. Now think about that. You got two families, two identical homes, same neighborhood, same property value, different tax bills. Simply because one family moved to Florida earlier than the other. So whether that's fair or unfair is up to the voters to decide. But it's likely to become one of the most hotly debated issues in the amendment. Possibility number 3, higher home prices. Higher home prices, you say? Sure. Because most people, when they're buying a home, they're looking at the monthly nut. They're looking at affordability. And if the taxes go down, so right now that's kind of affecting and kind of correcting, not really bringing all the homes down, but certain sectors of the Florida real estate market, the homes are going down, as I think they probably should, because they were crazy inflated after COVID. So I kind of judge everything pre-COVID, post-COVID in Florida. So everything's kind of coming back to a pre-COVID market in my mind. That's just my opinion. So anyway, but when it went all crazy, when the prices went up and everybody was outbidding everybody and paying more than the appraised value and all the things after COVID, that brought the taxes up. But at the time, they were based on those pre-COVID taxes, so they were like, sure, I'll overspend for that because look, the taxes are only $3,000 a year. Well, big surprise, a year later, that property you just paid $1 million for, that's probably worth $800,000, your taxes went crazy up. And hard to bring down because you paid $1 million. I mean, they do look at that. They just start there at what the purchase price was. It's not how property appraisers work, though. Anyway, but here's the basic premise. I got off track a little bit. When you're looking at that monthly nut, and when your ownership costs decrease, as what may happen if the taxes decrease, then affordability increases. And when affordability increases, demand increases. And when demand increases, prices increase. It's pretty basic, supply and demand. And it's really back to that, what's the monthly nut? So let's use a simple example. If a homeowner saves several $1,000s each year in taxes, buyers may be willing to pay more for that same property. Over time, some of the tax savings may become reflected in higher home prices, and current homeowners could benefit. So if you're sitting on your house and you're thinking about selling, this might be good for you to cash in your chips and move to wherever you're thinking about moving to, if you're thinking about moving to anywhere else. So let's see, possibility number 4, the first-time homebuyer problem. This is crazy because I feel for the first-time homebuyer, for you young people. I feel for you, man. Prices are high. I don't know how you're pulling it off, but many of you aren't. The average age of the first-time homebuyer now is about 41 years old. That's the average age of a first-time homebuyer, 40 to 41 years old. I bought my first house when I was 18. That's kind of a story behind that, but my true first house, I was 28. The story is I bailed my mom out of foreclosure. Anyway, so first-time homebuyer problem. Who benefits the most? So generally speaking, who's going to benefit? Existing homeowners, longtime Florida residents, and people already in the system, so to speak. Who benefits less? First-time homebuyers, younger households, and future Florida residents. The amendment could unintentionally widen the gap between people who already own homes and people trying to buy their first one. Possibility number 5, local government dependence. There could be less local government control over their resources, and there could be loss of public services. So that's a big one, and the local municipalities are not happy about it, and I don't blame them. If local revenue declines substantially, cities and counties may become increasingly dependent upon funding decisions made in Tallahassee. To me, that's a problem. And right now, I think this something similar to this proposal that DeSantis made in Florida is in 13 other states. If this gains momentum and this happens and prices decrease and that control moves from local government to state government, what happens if the states can't handle it? Then the states need money. The states are going to have to beg the feds. So this could turn into a real thing. But I'm not going to digress and I'm not going to get political. Possibility number 6. What happens during a recession? I was thinking about this one too. So here's the deal. Property taxes tend to be stable over long periods of time. They increase gradually, generally. Sales taxes are not stable. Tourism taxes are not stable. In a recession, there's less tourism, so we're going to get less tourist tax revenue. Sales tax. In a recession, people are going to buy less goods, so there will be less sales tax revenue. If replacement funding relies more heavily on economic activity, then the government revenues may become more volatile during the economic downturns. See what I mean? I was spinning on this one. Because really, if we're losing money from the collection of real estate taxes, where are we going to get it from? We already talked about the possibilities. Sales tax, tourist tax, consumer spending, blah, blah, blah. If we have a recession, all that's going to decrease and the property taxes are down. Where's the money coming from? I don't know. I just don't know. That's just a rhetorical question. If you have an idea, put it in the comments. I'd love to see. Okay, possibility number 7, the non-homestead question. So as we talked about, the proposal reduces the non-homestead assessment cap from 10% to 5%. And many property owners view this as a positive. But it raises another question. If both homestead and non-homestead properties receive additional protection, where does this future local revenue growth come from? This question remains largely unanswered, and it's a big one. And that's what the legislatures are going to have, and the legislators are going to have to discuss, and that's what voters need to think through. Just because you're saving on your own little personal taxes now could hurt the entire community. And let's see. So the question I keep coming back to is, it's not, do homeowners deserve relief? Of course homeowners deserve relief. The real question is, can Florida provide significant tax relief without simply shifting the burden somewhere else, and shifting the burden somewhere else that's not reliable, sustainable, or it may be even possible? That's the question that the Florida voters need to consider between now and November 2026. Again, my real estateologist take on this: I understand why the proposal's popular. The benefits are easy to see. Lower taxes, more disposable income, additional protection for homeowners. But remember, good policy requires more than good intentions. It requires understanding the long-term consequences. So think it through, people. And the purpose of this video is not to tell you how to vote. The purpose of this video is to encourage you to think critically before you vote. Read the proposed amendment. Research the proposed amendment and what the consequences will be before you make the vote. Sometimes doing that one little good vote for yourself may not be for the greater good. But if you're just caring about you, that's fine. Some people are like, I want my savings now. I'm going to be dead in 5 years. Okay, well, if that's your choice, then cast your vote. But just remember that, this change has to be done in Florida by constitutional amendment. And once you amend the Constitution, It's very difficult to take that away and make that change. It's decades that you're living with this. So, final thought. The amendment may ultimately prove beneficial. It may also create challenges that nobody fully anticipates today. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. That's why informed voters should study both the benefits and the potential consequences before making a decision. You have 5 months to do your research and make a decision, and that's it. So I'd like to hear from you. What do you think? Put it in the comments. Do you support the amendment? What concerns you? What excites you? Perhaps the most important question of all, if property tax revenue is reduced, how are we going to replace it? I'd love your thoughts and comments on that. I read every one. And remember, I'm Amy, your premier real estateologist. And remember, in real estate and in public policy, details matter. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video. If you have any topics that you want me to discuss, by the way, throw those in the comments as well. I'm happy to bring you content that you might find useful. Okay, that's all I got. Deuces.